Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
This episode is brought to you by United Airlines. When you want to make the most of your vacation, book with United. They're an airline that cares about your travels as much as you do. United is transforming the flying experience with Bluetooth connectivity, screens, power at every seat, and bigger overhead bins to help fit everyone's bag. And with their app, you can skip the bag check line, get live updates, and more. Change the way you fly. Book your next trip today at united.com.
This is Optimal Living Daily. 5 habits you need to master your fears and leap into a new life by Daneika Glenn of learning2fly.org. And I'm Justin Malik. And we're going to jump right into another article as we optimize your life. 5 habits you need to master your fears and leap into a new life by Daneika Glenn of learning2fly.org. Let's face it, fear is a part of the human experience. You can't outrun, bury it, or ignore it and hope it goes away. This is especially true when you're entertaining new ways of showing up in the world. If you can't escape from fear, how can you make sure it doesn't stop you from taking action and creating what you really want? Well, I'm glad you asked. Here are 5 habits that have helped me master fear and make positive changes in my life. Number 1, you don't have to complete your novel by 6 p.m. The idea that massive change happens instantly instead of in small, doable steps leaves us without hope and unmotivated to take action. If we tell ourselves we have to make these major overhauls in our lives, like master professional writing before we can write the first page in our book, we will never get started. So if you've been afraid to start a business, write a book, or change your career, spend 5 minutes today doing something that will get you closer to your goal instead of trying to master it by dinner time. Consistent, small steps is the way to master your fears because it trains you to take action instead of giving up before you even get started. It's not about big wins, it's about taking small steps consistently to win big. Number 2, I can't love myself now. I've got work to do. The way we talk to ourselves matters more than anything else, especially when we are feeling afraid. If we constantly tear ourselves down and tally up the ways we are lacking, how exactly do we think we are going to have the courage or strength to face our fears? When the voice of fear flares up and threatens to take you down, offer words of encouragement and kindness to yourself. Praise yourself for the steps you have already taken, no matter how small. Number 3, getting fear out of the driver's seat. If your mind is stuck on repeating images of destruction when you want to move in a new direction, try this. Think about a major change you have made in the past. Remember all of the fear and uncertainty you had? Do you remember how you felt more confident and capable once the change was complete? You can face your fears and come out better on the other side. You've already done this several times before. Remind yourself you do have what it takes to not only survive, but thrive. Train yourself to see fear as a challenge to get better, and you will start to master it. Number 4, the glory of making fear ordinary. There is power in structure and routine. I know the idea of repeating the same things over and over again sounds boring, but repetition is a secret weapon you can use to start conquering your fears. How? By creating a habit of putting yourself in new situations. Get uncomfortable repeatedly. Willingly embrace the unknown by taking a new class or pitching a new idea to the world. It'll change how you see yourself and what you believe is possible for your life. Taking a leap into the unknown in small, fun ways can serve as the training you need to take action to master your big fears. Fear loses its grip on us if we're willing to embrace many new experiences just for the fun of it. And number 5, hurry, I need a roadmap out of hell. I hate to break it to you, but there is no map you can follow to guarantee success or avoid feeling afraid, uncomfortable, and lost. However, there is something you can do to prepare for the inevitable. The reason why fear keeps us paralyzed with indecision is because we don't question it and problem solve ahead of time. Well, how do you do that? Put your worst case scenario in writing. Write down what you want. Write down all of your fears about the terrible things that could happen to you if you go for what you really want. What could you do to recover and rebuild your life if your worst case scenario came true? When you take the time to write down your fears and think about the ways you can solve your worst case scenario problems, you realize there always is a way out. Your life is not in danger, and it is possible to recover and rebuild even if your worst case scenario comes true. Making friends with fear. Taking the time to question your fears and how you define them is the first step to mastering them. You don't need to do the impossible by bedtime, but you do need to build habits that support you and increase your confidence. Training yourself to take small, consistent steps is the way to conquer your fears and create the life you want. You just listened to the post titled 5 Habits You Need to Master Your Fears and Leap into a New Life by Daneika Glenn of learningtofly.org, and I'll be right back with my commentary. Good taste is easy to spot, but hard to pin down. You know it when you see it. With your car, you want something sophisticated and daring, yet classic, approachable, but with an air of opulence. That's where the Range Rover Evoque comes in. The Range Rover Evoque is charisma in motion, art and craft in equal measure. Its exterior is a quietly bold expression of Range Rover DNA with a floating roof, continuous waistline, and 3-dimensional grille that give it a captivating character. Inside you'll find a calm, minimalist cabin anchored by a tactile gear shifter where clean lines, sumptuous materials, and advanced technology come together. Make a statement in the Range Rover Evoque. This elegant SUV elevates every drive, offering a new dimension of refinement and luxury. Whether you prefer a modern aesthetic or a warmer, authentic appearance, the Evoque's interior can be tailored to your taste. Ready to experience sophisticated design and premium materials in motion? Explore the Range Rover Evoque at LandRoverUSA.com.
Ah, and here we have travelers in their natural habitat enjoying guaranteed 4 p.m. checkout at fine hotels and resorts booked through Amex Travel, and they don't even see what's coming at them.
We're in. We got the table.
Yep, with Resi Priority Notify, they're alerted when hard-to-get reservations open up.
Reservation for 2? Save the best for last.
Thanks to Amex Platinum, the last day vacation brings yet another experience. That's the powerful backing of American Express. Terms apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/withAmex.
Thank you to Daneika. It's funny how if we try to control our fears or avoid them, they just get worse. Same thing for anxiety. It's like sand. The more tightly you try to grasp it, the more it spills out of your hands. And while making friends with fear could sound like one of those woo-woo type things, I think it's actually true. It's something you have to truly accept for it to not rule your life. And these are good tips. The first one she mentioned was taking small, consistent steps. And in psychology, you'll hear about exposure therapy, which is exactly that. Tiny baby steps so that what was once a fear could sort of become normalized. And while it may seem impossible at first, even the greatest of fears can be tamed through baby steps like this and in creative ways. For example, spiders. If you have a massive fear of spiders, one baby step could be something like drawing a spider on a paper and then having it sit on your desk. It might give a little anxiety at first, but it's a drawing and eventually you'll get used to it being next to you. Then a next step could be purchasing a plastic spider and leaving that on your desk. And maybe that's too big of a jump for you, or maybe it's too small, but in either case, that's just an example of how we can really take small steps in the direction we want to go and eventually get to where we want to be. So take those steps today, baby steps, of course. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.